$70.91 for all your cleaning needs.
A day unlike any other in the long course of American history, a terrorist act of war against this country.
The enemy struck America on September 11th. But who is the enemy?
Bin Laden.
This is his M.O.
We have to look to the Middle East. We have to look to Osama bin Laden.
Fabled Enemies is the first 9/11 film to take a close look at the terrorist ties to intelligence networks inside the United States.
Some U.S. investigators believe that there are Israelis again very much engaged in spying in and on the U.S.
I'm aware that some Israeli citizens have been detained.
Bin Laden's connections to the CIA, the hijackers' ties to the FBI, the Saudi Arabian connection, the Israeli intelligence network, warnings and war games, the shadow government, and much, much more. Fabled Enemies. Get the DVD at Infowars.com or see it in super high quality, along with hundreds of other titles at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists.
The time clock is ticking. Laws could change. The New World Order is advancing rapidly. Health consciousness is fading away. Junk food, fast food, fat food is the New World Order's game. Don't play the game. Slim down, detox, and cleanse yourself from the chemical foods and processed food that we intake daily. And now for the holiday special. Buy 1 month of Super Tea and we'll throw in an extra 2 weeks. That's right, 1 month of Super Tea and we'll throw in an extra 2 weeks. It won't last long, so order now. GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Or call us at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. Order now before you can't.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Well, I'm afraid that this is live from Oahu, and this is Michael Rivero, and normally I host my own show, WhatReallyHappened.com. Alex is out doing what Alex does best. He's out there shaking the world to its foundations and getting some new information that's going to be very important for all of us to be looking at as we head into 2009. Getting back to the Barack Obama inauguration, and it is, as I said before, it's a great spectacle, a Roman spectacle, if you will. And it is a hard sell. They're really trying to get out the message that things are going to change, things are going to be better. And Barack Obama does have one very important advantage, and that is he is the successor to George W. Bush, arguably the worst president in the history of the entire nation. And so all Barack Obama has to do is absolutely nothing, and he's still going to be seen as an improvement. And the biggest challenge our country is facing right now is the economy, and that obviously very firmly falls onto the shoulders of the preceding administration. So Barack Obama is going to get a free pass on that. He can either make it better and take credit for that, or it's just going to continue to get worse, and the preceding administration gets that. So Barack's got that advantage going for him. And maybe they should have been a little bit more muted on selling him as this savior of the nation, because now the expectation is very high. And as I was saying before the break, I mean, watching the faces of the people along the parade route when they were driving the cameras and everything by, it was like such ecstatic joy and religious fervor on their face. And I'm almost ready for them to start handing the loaves and fishes to Barack so he can feed everybody their lunch today. And seriously, if he doesn't do something really spectacular, real quick, real positive, I think that expectation is going to come back to haunt him. And certainly I know a lot of people here in the Alex Jones audience, they were less than 100% ecstatic about Barack Obama. Now, I wanted Ron Paul. I was very disappointed when, as somebody who talked about real significant change in the country, he was very quickly shown the door by the American media and the political establishment. So we were left with the choice of the lesser of two evils, and I'll be very honest, I was just delighted that Obama managed to keep Hillary out of the nomination, because I am still convinced that the original plan by those who shape our nation from behind the scenes was for John McCain to lose to Hillary Clinton. And then when Hillary lost to Obama, I think it took a lot of people by surprise. But now he is the president, for good, bad, or indifferent. He has a cabinet which really looks like a revival of the Clinton administration for the most part. We have Hillary as the Secretary of State. And so, to be very honest, on the one hand, it may be that Barack Obama is already walled off to such an extent that as a president, he may not be able to affect much change at all. On the other hand, and let's wait until we see what he's going to do, he may turn out to be another Lyndon Johnson. And I've mentioned this before, but just recapping, since yesterday was Martin Luther King Day. When Lyndon Johnson became president and Dr. Martin Luther King started really uniting people in the cause of civil rights, it was Lyndon Johnson who stood up and said, okay, segregation is wrong. We are going to desegregate the schools. We are going to send the National Guard, if I have to see that this happens peacefully. And Dr. Martin Luther King, when he finally met President Johnson, said, I'm Mr. President, I am grateful and gratified for your support in this cause, but it is such a contrast to some of your previous speeches. And Lyndon Johnson said, well, back then I was campaigning, and now I've got the job. And now that I've got the job, that old Negro spiritual, free at last, thank God Almighty I'm free at last. So there's a possibility that Barack Obama, now that he's got the job, and if you think about it, really, his political career is over. He's the president. He's got one more election in 4 years, and after that, there's nothing left for him to do. So in terms of political ambition, there's no way left for him to go. He's got the job. Now he's going to do it. He may prove to be very much like John Kennedy. I know a lot of people make a lot of allusions between Obama and Kennedy. Kennedy was notorious. Once he got into office, he basically abandoned a lot of his supporters in groups like organized crime, to say, okay, I'm going to be the president of the United States, and I'm going to do things I think are best for the nation as a whole. And that created a great deal of anger, but that was one of the reasons why John F. Kennedy was such a popular president. He was not perfect. He was not a saint by any stretch of the imagination, if you remember the whole Marilyn Monroe thing, among others. But he did try and execute some changes contrary to the wishes of his supporters. We might see that from Barack Obama. We might not. Time alone will solve that mystery. And I know there's a lot of emails and a lot of calls and a lot of stuff going out there about saying, oh, Obama's just doing a terrible, terrible job, or he's going to be this, he's going to be that, and he's sold out to these interests. And it's all attempts at precognition. We don't really know. He's only just gotten the job a couple of hours ago. It's going to be all parties today. I think we just need to sort of sit and watch and see what the guy does. And he may turn out to really be thinking about the welfare of the whole country, because in a lot of ways he really is an outsider to the political establishment. And he's a very smart individual, and he may be smart enough to realize that if we don't take care of the country as a whole right now, that even the special interest people are going to suffer. And that is a wisdom that a lot of our economic leaders are very much lacking in. They go back to Adam Smith. They love his philosophy because it justifies a great deal of personal greed. And John Nash, of course, proved that Adam Smith was not accurate, that really wise leadership looks at the whole system together with their self-interest in order to move society forward. But again, we don't know what he's going to do. He may be very sincere about wanting to do well for the country. He may just be another in a long line of presidential con artists that we have been suckered into supporting. I don't think he was the intended, planned for president, but he is a professional politician. So we will see. Now, obviously, as we get a little bit further into the show here, I want to go back and do a quick recap on this Israel and Gaza situation. And by the way, if you want to call into the show, our number is 800-259-9231. Same number that you call to get onto my show, 800-259-9231. And when you call in and just say hi to our technicians who are doing yeoman service today, apparently they're dealing with a lot of really, really bad technical glitches today, and because of all that's going on. So call in and say hi to them. Now, getting onto the situation with Gaza. We've only got a few minutes until the break here. This last weekend, Israel declared a ceasefire and said, we're going to keep our troops in place. Hamas then said, we declare a ceasefire to give you time to get out.